Good morning, happy hookers. I'm going to do a quick tutorial on this beautiful poncho. It is a repetitive pattern. So what we need to do is just get up here around the neckline and our beginning stitches, and then once you can go as far down as you want, which is your length, and then I'll show you how to add this awesome fringe at the bottom. So let's get started. Just a few tools here before we get started. A pair of scissors right there. I'm using a size K, sorry it's around backwards, a size K hook. It's my go-to hook. It allows a big stitch for working with 4-ply worsted yarn. I'm using just a yarn cake for my big poncho, but I'm starting just with a basic ivory 4-ply just to show you the beginning steps. You need a couple stitch markers. Get them at any craft store, Walmart. They come in a little package like that. And we are ready to get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is start with our slip knot. This is definitely a tutorial for anybody who already knows how to crochet. It's a really simple pattern, so all you need to know is your basic crochet stitches. Okay, so for an adult, we're doing an adult, we're going to chain 71 chains. Okay, adult will also be an older teen unless the child is a very small teen. In that case, you will chain 51. Okay, 51 for most children. Toddlers, I would chain 41. Okay, so I'll put all that down in the notes as well. Babies, you're going to get by. You could probably get by with 31. I would definitely look at that chain. And you can always go up to, it's just got to be a multiple, it's got to be an even number plus 1. So 30, so it'd be 31, 40, 41, you know, whatever. So, okay, so we're going to make our chain of 70. And I'm going to make my chain, I'm going to get to 35 and I'm going to stop. And I'm going to go there now and we'll come back. Okay, so I have my 35 chains first. And the reason why I'm stopping at 35, because I'm going to put a stitch marker in at 35. That's going to be the V. Okay, so I put in a stitch marker. See there? All right. Then I'm going to go ahead and finish my 36. So I have 35, then I'm going to go clear up to 71. All right, let's do that now. Okay, so once you have your 71 crocheted, I'm going to hold this and keep my chain turned the right direction. All the little V's facing me. So it's not twisted, because we're going to combine this, or we're going to join this slip stitch into the first stitch right here. Okay, and we don't want that twisted when we do so. So slip stitch into the first, I'm trying to do this and watch it through my monitor. Good times. Okay, and then chain 1. That little tail you can catch in here in a second. Our next step, this is going to be our back V, but we're not going to put a stitch marker in there until we come back to it. Right now we're going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch around. Okay, try and get my camera situated here. So once our next step is I'm doing 1 single crochet in every chain around until we get back to the beginning, and then we'll just slip stitch into the top of that chain 1 space. So go ahead, I'm halfway around. I'm down here to my stitch marker. See there? And I just want you to continue around, keeping that chain straight all the way around, and get all the way back to the beginning. Okay, so I've done 1 single crochet all the way around. And what I'm doing, I'm going to lay this down. I haven't even slip stitched it to close yet. I'm going to lay this down and make sure that it is not twisted. Got my stitch marker down there. All right, it looks pretty good. And I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that first chain that we did, that chain 1 space. Okay, so now this becomes, that slip stitch right there, that becomes our back point. So I'm going to get a stitch marker. And I'm going to put that in there. Now, you don't have to use stitch markers. You can count, but why count? You know, right? Why count? All right, so I have 2 stitch markers, and they are exactly halfway. I know I don't have a big enough. Oh, that looks twisted. Is it twisted? Let me see. I might be a little twisted here. No, actually, it's fine. It's fine. It's just twisting on me where my stitch marker is. Okay. I had a little bit of a panic there. Okay. So now that we are slip stitched into that, we are going to chain 3. And this is where we are starting our point. Okay. So we are going to chain 3 and do 2 double crochets right inside that stitch where we just put that stitch marker. So one more. That first chain 3, that chain 3 acts as our first double crochet. So now we have 3 double crochets, and I'm going to chain 2. Again, I'm watching this through my monitor. Forgive me. And then 3 more double crochets in that same stitch. I'm much faster than this off camera. Aren't we all? And one more. And chain 1. There is our back V. Now you can move this to that V if you want. There's no point because once you get here, you're going to see that that is your V, okay? You can actually take this out now if you want. I just kind of leave it in there just for poops and giggles, okay? All right, so I chained 1, and I'm going to skip 2 stitches and double crochet into that third one, and I'm going to put 3 double crochet in there, okay, in that same stitch. 3 double crochet. Sorry, I got to get me some yarn here. All right, and then we're going to chain 1, skip 2, go into that third one, 3 double crochet. See the pattern here? Okay. So I want you to repeat that all the way down to the cluster of 3. Skip 2, cluster of 3, chain 1, skip 2. Okay, so I just did 3. Okay, see here? So we got our corner or our V, our point. Skip 2, chain 3 double crochet, chain 1, skip 2. 3 double crochet, chain 1, skip 2, going into that third one, okay, and putting 3 more, and I'm going to do that all the way down to my stitch marker at that stitch 35. So I'll come back when I'm there. So I've worked all the way down from the beginning here where we started our V, and I've worked all the way down here, and here I am at this stitch marker. Okay, let me get me some yarn here. Working on the wrong side of the camera. Okay, so 3 double crochet right into that stitch marker stitch. We're making our front V here. So 3 double crochet. You can take out that stitch marker if it gets in your way. You know where you're at. Okay, chain 2 because we're doing that turn, that point. And then 3 more double crochet. I'm going to take it out because it's easier for me to take it out right there. And then 3 more double crochet right into that same stitch. Let me move back into the camera frame. Sorry, it's really hard trying to video. Keep your cat off the table. Watch through a monitor. You know, I need one more. It's not, she's over here eyeballing me, wanting to jump on my yarn. Okay, so there's our turn. See that point? I just chained 1 as I was coming out, and then I'm going to skip 2 stitches, and I'm going to work that repetitive shell, chain 1, 3 double crochet, skip 2 stitches, 3 double crochet, chain 1, skips 2, keep on going till we get all the way back to the top. I'll meet you there. Okay, so I'm back up here to my beginning, or well, yeah, at my beginning, but my back thing. I am going to, my back point, I guess, not my thing. I'm going to slip stitch into this top chain 3 right here. Okay, to close up my row. All right. And then it's just easier to start in one of these spaces. So I'm going to slip stitch my way to that opening there. Okay. I call that a chain 2 space or a chain 1 space. Chain 2 on our corners, and then I'm going to chain 3, and this is going to start our next row. So we've actually honestly have 3 rows here, but I call it 2 rows because your beginning chain, it's not really a row, but this single crochet is row 1, this is row 2. We are starting row 3. So chain 3, 2 double crochet into that spot. Okay. Chain 2, 3 more double crochets in there. I'm going to kind of get out of focus here, trying to watch it through the monitor. Again, my videography skills stink. I'm all about crochet, but my videography stinks. There, I said it. Chain 1. Okay, so here we have row 3 started, and I'm going to go into my 2 chain. This is my 3rd. Go right into that space. So double crochet 3, double crochet. Let me get some more yarn here. 3 double crochet into that space, and then we chain 1 at the end of that. Chain 1, and we jump to this one, and you're going to do that all the way down. And then when you get to this point, see, I took my stitch marker out because when you get there you kind of know it. Your sequence is 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 1, jump to this space, jump to this space. When you get back up here, you're going to slip to close, and you're going to slip stitch over into that, and you're just going to keep repeating this pattern over and over. It naturally enlarges because you're adding 3 in here. This pattern, I've done it with just 2 double crochets instead of the 3 shell. I've done it with a 2 shell. It works out the same way. It's beautiful. It's more of an open weave, and it's gorgeous. But this is, I've used a J and a K hook doing this pattern and get basically the same result. So I just always grab a K. It's just, like I said, my choice of hook. I'm going to take this stitch marker out because we really don't need it now. Throw it out of the way. So as you can see, it works up fast. This is like a granny square where just you have 2 corners instead of 4. This is our neckline. Once you change, when you're going to change collars, when you slip stitch here for each row, I would start my new collar right there, okay? So I wouldn't slip stitch with my other collar. I would slip stitch to there, disconnect my thread, my yarn, and then start my new collar right here when you do your chain 3, okay? So you keep going, and for an adult poncho, depending on the length you want, I'm kind of on the plus size. I wear anywhere between an extra large and a 2X. I went 30 rows, counting this base row as 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 30 rows works up so fast, so fast, okay? So you keep going, you just repeating it. You can switch colors, you can do it in solid color, whatever. This pattern works great in wool, acrylic, bamboo, the Karen Soft, Simply Soft. It works amazing for this pattern. I've had no issues with this pattern whatsoever. If you're off by 1 somewhere, the beauty of this pattern, like if you say you got 72 stitches instead of 71, or you got 70 instead of 71. I actually had a boo-boo right here that you all didn't even see. See, there's 3 chains in there, and then my double crochet where there's only 2 chains back here. It's because I must have had 72 and not realized it. That's okay, because I just, only if you look closely are you going to see that 3. I jumped there. Once we start building the shells here, this is on the back side anyways, that space is just slightly wider than that space, but once you start filling them in, you're not going to notice it. So easy fix. So if you get there and you realize, oh crap, why do I have 3 don't worry about it. It's an easy fix. Nobody's going to see it anyways, okay? So this is the pattern. Keep going till you have, however many rows you want. Keep trying it on, slipping it over your head, trying it. I will do a quick tutorial on the fringe at the bottom next, and it's super easy, so you can do fringe at the bottom or you don't have to. You can just do a couple rows of single crochet to finish it off, or you could do a scalloped edge. Again, totally up to you. It's your poncho. So I will show you the fringe next. Okay, so I'm going to show you on this poncho that I already have made. I go about every 2 spots along the bottom edge of mine. Now, I didn't do a single crochet edging or anything. Didn't want to. Okay, and I'm going into, this is the back of the poncho. I'm going into these chain 1 spaces. Now, I took a 5x5 cardboard square and I just wrapped my yarn around it several times. Slid it off and cut one side open to where I had all these 10-inch pieces of yarn. Okay? Fold those in half to where you have a loop here at the top with 2 pieces. You can try to get this into focus here. Okay? I'm going to run those 2 loops through that chain 1 space. And then I'm going to grab the tails through that loop and I'm going to give that a pull. Not real tight, but, and that is easy fringe. Now I got that one a little off. You need to keep your ends straight. You can trim these up or do whatever you need to do. I'm going to take it back out. You just literally slide it back out. So if you get one that doesn't look right, you can slide it out, trim it off, whatever you want to do. Okay? That's the easy part. And you can do as much fringe as you want or none at all. It's totally up to you, your poncho. And that is it. I will attach some pictures of the finished pieces and some of the others I've done. And if you have any questions, comment below or send me a message. Thanks a lot. Have a blessed day and happy poncho making.